What's up, guys? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center, where we help you to lose body fat, gain muscle, and get stronger. Today, I'm going to cover this article. I'm just going to share my screen here. I'm going to cover this article that I got from Medical News Today that basically talks about the 7 best foods for weight loss. All right, we're going to cover this article. I really want to see if these are truly the 7 best foods that you should be eating. And we'll tell you if it is, and we're going to debunk any myths that we see. So, guys, if you have any questions, someone actually sent this to me on my Instagram. So go ahead and follow me on Instagram at AB Fitness, okay? And just drop me a message there, and I'll be happy to help you. Also, hit that subscribe button. This way you never, ever, ever miss a beat, and you get real life, applicable fitness information without the fluff. All right, let's get rolling here. So we're going to be talking about this article. All right, the 7 best foods for weight loss, okay? It says 7 best here. When I click the article, it's 7 best, but then when you go in here, it just says what are the best foods for weight loss. I guess that's SEO. So how they get ranked higher in search. All right, so let's get started. So blah, blah, blah. Okay, eggs, number 1. So if your goal is truly fat loss, okay, if you really want to lose as much body fat as possible, put on muscle, and really change the way your body looks, eggs are a great food, not gonna lie. But I only eat whole eggs when I'm in a phase where I want to gain more muscle because they're more calorie dense. So if your goal is to lose as much body fat as possible, I would say egg whites is the better answer to this, only because you're going to save a lot of calories. So in one egg white, I believe is like 10 calories. It's very, very minimal. And in a whole egg, I believe is about 70. So in a whole egg, you got 70 grams of fat. And one egg white is around 3 grams of protein. Okay, so 7 grams of fat, 0 in an egg white, and 3 grams of protein versus, a whole egg, which is about 7 or 6, give or take the egg size. But so already I'm disagreeing with this. So number 1, they said eggs. I definitely don't recommend eggs. I definitely would say egg whites. If your goal is to really lose as much body fat as possible, egg whites. Okay, try to avoid whole eggs. Not that they're bad for you or anything like that. If you want whole eggs, you can have it. You just got to fit it in. Sometimes people do a couple of egg whites and then throw in a whole egg in there. You can do that too. But just be mindful that, basically it's 2 egg whites to 1 whole egg as far as protein goes, but it's still a lot less calories in there. All right, so what do they write here? Eggs are particularly good food. In a small study, 21 men, researchers compared the effects of eating eggs to eating a bagel for breakfast on hunger, intake, hunger, and satisfaction. I mean, obviously, a bagel versus eggs, you're obviously going to have improved blood sugar levels because there's no carbs in that. And obviously you're going to be, a lot less hungry because the whole egg has fat in it. Fat takes longer to digest. So just sometimes they cherry pick these studies and it makes no sense. It all boils down to calories in, calories out. And again, whole eggs, they're not bad. I'm not demonizing them. I only eat them when I need more calories. That's typically when I eat them. When I'm dieting and when I'm trying to lose body fat, I want to stay as full as possible. And I find that the more egg whites I eat, the fuller I am and the leaner I end up getting because it's a lot less calories in there. And a lot more, also when I have a lot of egg whites, it allows me to have more fun in my diet. I could fit more things in there that I normally couldn't with other food because there's other fat in there. So like, for example, chicken breast. Chicken breast is really lean too, but it does have a couple grams of fat in it. I could save up those grams of fat and have something that maybe I'm craving instead. All right, so that's that. Oatmeal. I kind of agree with this. I think that oatmeal is a great food. I actually watched the video yesterday on how to make oat milk. I wouldn't use oat milk the way that the video came about yesterday when I'm trying to lose body fat because it's so dense. But it was a cool way to do it. And usually what I do is sometimes if I'm on the go, I'll just literally mix oatmeal in a blender with protein powder and just drink it. It's a good meal. Oatmeal does keep you fuller longer. It has a lot of fiber in it, digests slowly. It helps with cholesterol. So oatmeal is obviously a good food. And I think it's worth the calories. It is pretty calorie dense for what it is, but it will keep you fuller longer. It's got a good amount of fiber in it. And my body just digests oatmeal really, really well. So I like oatmeal. I'll go with this one. I agree with number 2. All right, number 3, beans, chickpeas, lentils, and peas. Oh, this article today. All right, so here's my beef. I don't have any here's my beef with beans and chickpeas and lentils and peas. They're good. I like them. Again, I like to eat them when I'm in a calorie surplus or when I'm trying to put on muscle because there's a lot of calories in them, and I could eat them and, it kind of add to my plate. So for example, if I'm trying to gain muscle, I may do, chicken, rice, and beans just to get more calories into that meal. But if I'm trying to lose body fat, typically I won't have beans or peas or on its own because again, it does contain a decent amount of carbohydrates and not as much protein. So I believe a serving of beans has about 20 grams of carbohydrates and about 8 grams of protein. So it's not really enough for the amount of calories that's in there. I'd rather eat something else. So I'd rather have like rice instead of the beans, or maybe bread or whatever instead of the beans. Beans are good for you. Beans are definitely healthy for you. They contain a lot of vitamins, minerals. They have a lot of fiber in them. So I definitely recommend eating them. But again, I wouldn't say that they're definitely the food that's going to help you lose weight because they're very calorie dense. As again, it's very easy to overeat beans. Very easy, like I said, especially if you mix them in with something. And typically no one eats beans by themselves. And peas, a lot of people get tricked with peas. They think peas are vegetables. I guess they technically are, but they think peas are vegetables. Like they put them in the same category as like broccoli, asparagus, spinach. But peas have a lot of carbohydrates in them. And I wouldn't recommend peas and corn when you're trying to lose body fat, again, because it's just so high in calories for what you're getting out of it. Again, yes, it is a vegetable, but I'd rather eat something else based on that. So I disagree with this one. I think that you should be putting like spinach should be here, asparagus, broccoli, like those types of things that are very low in calories and give you a better bang for your buck here. Oh boy, they really didn't listen to me here. This medical news site is terrible. Nuts. All right. First and foremost, nuts are very healthy for you, but in one almond is 1 gram of fat. So if you grab a handful of almonds, that's like 12 to 15 grams of fat. Again, if you take a small handful, if you really grab a heaping handful, that's like 20 to 30 grams of fat. Most women need between 30 and most men need around 50. So 30 to 50 grams of fat is what the average person needs in a day. You could easily do that in 2 handful of almonds and still be starving. Most people think that this is a good snack. It's like, oh, it's better than chips. Not really, to be honest, because if you did a serving of chips, it's around under 10 grams of fat and you'd be satisfied. Whereas like 10 almonds is not going to do anything for you. Again, almonds and nuts are very healthy for you. It's a good source of fat that you should be eating, but I wouldn't recommend it when you're trying to lose as much body fat as possible. Again, I only eat nuts and things like that when I'm really trying to build more muscle because they're very, very calorie dense. I should preface this whole thing by saying it's not like you can't eat these things. You can, but it's going to make your fat loss journey a lot harder because, again, you're going to be more hungry. So, for example, if you're supposed to have 30 grams of fat in a day total, and you have 15 grams of almonds as a snack in the middle of the day, you got to eat very, very low fat to keep up for that. This is why it's so important to track macros and understanding how much protein you need to get, how many carbs, and how many fats you need to get in a day in order to be successful with this. Because whether you like it or not, your body only sees those amounts of, foods that you're eating in a day. It doesn't see what you're eating. It just sees those amounts. So those 3 numbers basically control what's happening with your body. So again, they are a healthy food, but you can overeat them and not be satisfied, and you'll be starving and you'll end up overeating your calories. Believe me, I see this all the time. Oh boy, they really don't. It's like they know all the ones that I disagree with. Avocados, again, very, very healthy fat, very high monounsaturated fat, which is very good for you. But again, same thing, very, 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 very calorie dense. I would stay away from this when your goal is to lose as much body fat as possible because it just adds more calories to the plan without being satisfied. So very, very similar to what I said with nuts. So we'll skip that one. Berries, I agree with this one. Raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, all those types of berries are very, very good for you. Very high in antioxidants. And again, sometimes they're really, really good snacks. So sometimes I'll measure out some blueberries, I'll put them in the freezer, maybe I'll sprinkle some cinnamon, some Splenda on it, and I'll put them in the freezer. And it makes for a really, really good snack that's filling and refreshing. So berries are very good for you. They do very good in fiber. So again, I recommend having those. Cruciferous vegetables. I kind of said this earlier. So yeah, broccoli, cauliflower, all this stuff is amazing because it's it takes up a lot of space in your stomach, which will leave you very full and not leave you looking to raid the cabinet. So that's why these vegetables are really good. Oh, that was the last one. So there you go, 7 foods. And they didn't list any like really protein. So yeah, I mean, eggs was the only protein that they listed here. I would have liked to have seen, lean protein sources on this list too. Chicken, fish, shrimp. Shrimp is a great food for fat loss because you get a lot of shrimp. It takes a long time to eat and you'll be full with that. It's a really good source of protein, very lean. So I would definitely recommend that. Let's see what else it says. Instead of fried foods, people should choose foods that are baked, broiled, or grilled. Duh. I mean, it's going to be 2021 at this point. If you're, eating fried chicken and thinking that you're doing something good for fat loss, I mean, really, it's 2021, guys. I mean, come on. Obviously, we know we should be eating grilled. We all know, listen, truth be told, we all know what we should and shouldn't be doing, right? But the simple fact of the matter is we just don't do it. And that's where having a trainer, having a coach coming in, because you need someone to stay accountable to. Like I said, we all know what we should and shouldn't do, but you need someone to keep you accountable. All these things work. All these different plans work. All this stuff actually works. The problem is most people just don't have someone to keep them accountable to it. And you need someone to kind of check you all the time and say, hey, why are you doing that? Put that cookie down, like Arnold says in Jingle All the Way, one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite holiday movies. But yeah, that again, essentially, I'd like to have seen more protein on here. And another food, which I think is a really good one too. I think it's just really, it's kind of plain, but it's good. It keeps you full. It's a big serving. Puffed rice cereal. I actually really like puffed rice cereal. It's very, 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 like a serving of it is a huge bowl. So if you mix that in there with like some cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, that's going to keep you really, really full for a long time. So I would recommend actually too, that's not on the list here. Greek yogurt's really good. A serving of Greek yogurt will take up a big amount of space in your bowl. And again, that's another good food there. But there's 7. I'm really disappointed in their 7, to be totally honest. How many of these foods, I want you to know, comment below, let me know, how many of these foods have you been eating thinking that you're doing something good? How many? I'm curious. All right, guys, make sure you watch this video over here and this video. They're going to help you get to the next level. And in the comments below, I'm also going to drop the free blueprint and what it takes to actually transform your body to the next level. All right, guys, I will catch you all on the next one. Have a good one and Happy New Year.